First question is from Oral Leroy. What are your best tips for beginners?
Oh, I love this. I would say when it comes to exercise, especially when it comes to strength training, the top 2 tips I could give someone are this. Practice exercises. Stop trying to work out. In other words, don't go in there and think, I'm going to hammer my legs, I'm going to hammer my chest or my shoulders. Think, I'm going to practice getting better at the squat. I'm going to practice getting better at this bench press. I'm going to practice getting better at this row. Learn the skill of the lift. That'll give you way more in return. And then number 2, for at least the first year of training, your number 1 goal should be to get stronger. Get stronger, practice those lifts. Those 2 things alone will take you super far when it comes to your strength training.
I'll give you a different one. Commit to less. It sounds kind of weird, but I was talking to my dad and his wife this weekend, trying to get them motivated to be consistent with exercise, especially like mobility work, because his wife had just had hip surgery and he's got back issues. And, you know, and talking to family like that, it reminds me of talking to clients when I was a personal trainer, and, you know, all the reasons of why they don't, and this and, you know, this and that, and I know I need to make a better effort and commitment. And I said, you know, well, I think what happens is you have all this work you need to do. You know, you're not going to, you know, lose 30 pounds of fat in one go around of training. You know, you're not going to fix your hips in one mobility session. And so I think it just seems daunting for beginners a lot to commit to all of this. And I think what they do a lot of times is overcommit to what they think they need to do to move the needle. And so my thing that I would tell a beginner is, you know, commit to less. Commit to something you know you can execute, and then allow that to build momentum. I was telling my dad, I said, Dad, listen, and we got down, I showed him some 90-90 exercises. It takes you 5 minutes. Instead of you like committing to one of my MAPS programs and saying you're going to do this 3 days a week, like do that every morning.
Mm-hmm.
Like start right there. Like that, I know that's going to alleviate some of your low back pain and hip issues. Yeah. Start right there and just do that because what I know is if you commit to that 5 minutes every day for a couple weeks, you're going to start to see and feel a difference from that. It's going to improve your life enough that you'll go, man, I only had to commit to 5 minutes a day to do this, and it's giving me this much payback. What if I spent 10 more minutes and I did one exercise and I just squatted 3 times? You know, 3 sets of 10 or something. What if I just did that every other day? I don't even commit to every day. I'll just do that every other day and see what that does for my life. So I think this is a much better strategy and approach than feeling like you have to do so much. And why this is my advice is because this is something that has even taken me a really long time to realize the value of that. And I now apply this philosophy to myself. I'm just like I was telling my dad, I said, Dad, you know, I play the same mind games too. You know, I said, mine just probably sounds different. You know what my excuse sounds like? It's like, man, I'm 40 something years old. I'm already fitter than 90% of the fucking people. I could skip this week. I justify like that. I make an excuse that, I'm already ahead of the pack if I compare myself to the so I play the same mental games of making excuses and so what I've learned to do is like, you know what? Like, I'm just going to go in the garage right now and I'm going to do a set of squats. That's it. And what I have found that when I commit to less like that I'm more consistent with doing something, and then something starts to compound. And when it starts to compound and momentum builds, then it's much easier to be more consistent. And consistency is probably the single most important thing that you can be in this pursuit.
Well, I think that's really what, I mean, I'm just going to echo everything else you guys brought up, because that's taken us decades to figure out in terms of like the simplicity to present somebody that's a beginner, to really reduce it down to what you can feasibly commit to. And what does that look like individually? Because it does look different to everybody based on what they can repeat and something that you can string out more of a everyday thing. Like, so it's not Because originally I'd probably would have promoted something more of like a 1 to 2 to 3 day kind of thing where it's like, here, you can commit to at least showing up to the gym and do this type of workout. And then, let's start, addressing nutrition, because a lot of times, nutrition's another whole complicated can of worms because it's so integrated with your lifestyle and all these other moving parts. And so if we can at least get you moving and build off that momentum, then we'll address that. But it's individually, it could be drinking more water. It could be eating some more like cruciferous vegetables, and that's it, and then now it's going for walks. And then, now I'm building on that. Like I could do a mobility exercise, and now I can add in like, push-ups, and that's, and now I have that momentum I can carry into the gym. And now I can like get a little more, momentum going in towards learning about how to lift weights and what does that look like. And I want to build on the skill of that. So I want to learn how to do a compound lift, and maybe I need to hire a trainer to be able to work on my technique with that. But it starts with like such the most simplistic thing that you can feasibly do right now.
Yeah, habits build upon each other, and long-term habits almost never work when it's more than your capacity to commit to. So it almost never works that way.
And wouldn't you say that's probably one of the number one mistakes that people make is they overcommit to something that they're not going to stick to?
Look here, everybody's started a workout plan in their life. Almost everybody. It's the challenge is keeping it, is maintaining it. Now you said something, Justin, that I'll add, that if this is feasible for you, one of the most valuable things you could possibly do when it comes to fitness and health is hiring an experienced, good coach. Experienced and good, they got to be a good coach or trainer. That right there will improve your odds of success dramatically.
Yeah.
Dramatically. Now, you may think it's really expensive. I don't know if I could do that or whatever. Totally understand. But if you took a few $100s and got yourself a trainer, even for 4 meetings, and just took some of the stuff that they taught you and just applied it and practiced it, there isn't a supplement, there isn't a diet, there isn't dinners, there's nothing that could match that investment in terms of what you may be able to get out of it. And if you can invest more, I know the success that trainers can produce when they're really good.
This is such a good conversation because it's so top of mind. This is yesterday I was having this conversation, and to add to that point, I gave them the PrimeProWebinar.com thing that I did, and I told them, I said, listen, I've already got this for you to get you going. I said, so if you can commit to this, or you guys sit down as you start your morning every day and go through this. And I literally held their hand to show them how to shoot it up on the screen, everything. So they had it. And my dad's like, oh my God, I didn't know you had this. Like, yeah, it's there. We've talked about it before, but I never took his hand all the way through that. But I said, here's the deal though. And this is where you have to have the self-awareness. I'm giving you the tools that get you going in the right direction. And I tell you right now, if you make a commitment to doing this, a couple times a week or eventually every day, it will change your life. I promise you that. But you've got to do it consistently. And what I know is that a lot of people struggle with that. So to that point, where I think an incredible investment is to pay someone to come to your house, even if it means they're going to do the same shit you could do for free that I have up on that TV. The value of having somebody that knows what you need to do and that you have an appointment you're coming to is an incredible investment to build the momentum. So I'm going to challenge you guys first to use it for free and do this because I have the resources, but I want you to have the self-awareness that if you can't even commit to that, then you should invest financially on somebody coming to you, because there's a different type of motivation when you know you're paying out of your pocket for it, on the likelihood you'll get up and do it.
I'll argue there's a lot of people, because if you look at training, hiring a trainer, you look at it and you say, oh my God, that's so expensive, right? But people spend more money on monthly cell phone bills. They spend more money on going out to eat. If you get a good coach and a good trainer, okay, so I got to always say that because there's bad ones out there, but someone who's experienced, knows what they're doing, is going to train you properly and appropriately, the value you'll get for every dollar you invest in that person, there isn't a single thing that will bring you as much value. Nothing. Nothing will improve the quality of your life, all of your life, like becoming more fit and healthy. It'll make everything in your life much better. It's the most valuable thing you can invest in. So when you look at the price and you say, oh my God, that's expensive, consider the value of what being more fit and healthy can do for you in everything. So consider that.